Thank you for staying with us. This segment, we're going to be talking about a very special place. I had the good fortune to just go visit. I happened to be up in Long Island, Huntington, Long Island, on business this weekend, and a buddy of mine approached me Saturday evening and said, you know, we're only 5 miles from Bethpage State Park. Why don't we ride over there in the morning and check things out? I thought, you know, gosh, I had a little bit of time, and sure enough, we were over there in a jiffy. We get there, it's 40 degrees this Sunday. Fog visibility was maybe 40 feet. I mean, you just couldn't see, literally. I mean, we pulled in, we were probably on the walkway before we could actually see the clubhouse. Parking lot is full. It's just littered with Red Bull and McDonald's McMuffins, and all these guys have been camping out in their cars to play. The black wasn't even open. They've got 5 courses: red, blue, black, green, yellow, and black. Right. 3 of those were open, and they were packed until like 1 o'clock.
And it was 40 degrees and foggy.
40 degrees foggy. We watched one guy tee off on the green. First of all, it took him forever to hit it. I wanted to say, like those, like they were riding Sergio back in the 02 Open. Hit the damn ball!
Hit it already.
But he stands there for literally, it seemed like a minute before he hit it into the abyss. God knows where the ball was going. Literally, the groups that teed off in front had to yell back and say, "We're clear," before the next group could hit. But we went to the starter station at every one of the courses, and you know, they just got an old guy in jeans standing there saying, "All right, Bob, Jim, Chris, you're up next." No, he didn't say it like that. He said it in a much more of a New York accent. But just watching this, it's just so far removed from what we think of in a normal golf experience in general, let alone a place that's now on the national stage, has held 2 U.S. Open national championships.
Right.
Very understated, yet has an atmosphere and a feel about it that makes sense for somebody who never grew up in that private club experience.
Well, you know, one of the things they do there, obviously, is the golfers get there on Friday night. Generally, if we had a foursome, it'd be your turn one week, my turn another week, Chris, your turn another week, where you get there on Friday night and you get your car in place in the line and the gate going into Bethpage.
Yeah.
And about 3 in the morning, the gentleman shows up with the clipboard and goes right down the line of cars and starts to sign them up. And that dictates when you go out and when you get to play and what course and so on. And yes, needless to say, a lot of them make it an overnight experience with a little bit more than Red Bull, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I mean, that's the way they sign them up there. And 5 courses, they do over 300,000 rounds a year over those 5 courses, which, doing the math quickly, obviously, is 60,000 rounds a year on each course. And when you hear of a golf course doing 30,000 rounds, that's a pretty busy golf course. That golf course has action. Well, 60,000 rounds, that's sun up to sundown.
Yep.
Of just whack, 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 whack.
And they've got it down to a science. You know, you walk into the pro shop, everything's understated. They just got it. I mean, it literally looks like the DMV office. I mean, it's just that clinical.
24?
Yeah. I mean, and that's how they treat you. But it's a factory, and they move them in, they move them out. We're thinking here we are in January. What must it look like around here in April, May, June, summertime? Right. It's just literally a zoo. But we went back later in the afternoon when the fog had cleared, and we got to see the clubhouse. Is very grand. Inside, 1936, it was built. You could walk into the old ballroom and the old tap room and just kind of picture what those old grand functions must have looked like.
Right.
In the clubhouse, they actually had an exhibition in a frame that said Sam Snead versus Byron Nelson, September 29th, 1940, 50 cents for admission. So there's a lot of history in the clubhouse. They've got some amazing paintings of Tiger and Jack and Arnie. So, you know, that was really neat to go in there, and you could smell the old mahoganies and the antiques. It just has that classic.
You're transcending time.
You're literally transcending time. They've done a really good job of maintaining that feeling there. But at the end of the day, you know, we saw the guys had come in. They were in watching the end of the Atlanta-Seattle game, and it felt like just being back at your old Muni course, hanging out with your beer drinking buddies.
You just got finished playing.
So it's an amazing experience to see that, and you just don't see that often in golf these days.
Well, here's my question: is you said they average 60,000 rounds. how does the ranger keep these guys? Because I can promise you, it's not pros playing there. You got to think these are beginning golfers. So how do they keep them moving through 18 holes? With
well,
guys
I know for the
all
black,
over the
you have to have a certain handicap, or they highly recommend it to play the black course.
Right.
Obviously, the course where they played the U.S. Opens on.
Right.
But the other courses, from what I understand, are very, very good themselves. You know, a little history on the place. In the early 1930s, that was a private estate. The grounds where it's on, where Bethpage State Park is, was a private estate and the Lenox Hill Country Club. And in the 1930s, the state of New York bought it, and with the growth of the game of golf, they decided to turn it into golf courses. A.W. Tillinghast came in and designed 4 of the courses, and because the demand was so high for all of those, in 1958, the yellow course was added. So, you know, the formula for them having it as a public golf course and obviously being full all the time has been in place for quite some time.
Right.
You know, and obviously A.W. Tillinghast, one of the most popular architects that has been out there. Yeah. He, the Donald Rosses, you know, their courses are certainly gems, and needless to say, Bethpage Black especially is one of them, as we've seen on TV through 2 U.S. Opens.
Well, and when they finally got, there's a great book called Open by John Feinstein, and it talks about, to be a great read for anybody that's looking for that, talks about sort of the Bethpage experience, how David Fay chose that to be the open venue in 02 and 09. You know, they go through the history of, well, they actually closed the course down for about a year and a half and brought Reese Jones in. They call him the Open Doctor. He came in and redid some holes, reconfigured some bunkering to get it up to standards of a U.S. Open. But they really didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot to it.
No.
It's just that difficult.
Maybe just a little cleanup and adding a little this or that. But yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of the players have to start on number 10 when you play in the Open Championship there. I mean, 10, 11, and 12 are 4 monster or 3
holes.
Monster par 4s in a row that are.
It's a beast, and I actually, we got to go, but I asked a local there, I said, any big tournaments, big events coming? He goes, unpublished or unpublished? I said, unpublished.
Give us the dirt.
Yeah, give us the dirt. And he said, they're talking Ryder Cup. That'll be really interesting to see how that shakes out. But a Ryder Cup at Bethpage, you can just see it.
And the New York fans would be very well behaved.
Very well behaved.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they'll treat our European counterparts very well, I'm sure.
They're gonna love it,
especially if Sergio's on the team. It'll be like a Giants-Jets game. It'll be a nightmare out there, but awful fun for sports fans. Guys, that's all the time we got this segment. When we come back, we're going to be with the Golf Week Icebreaker Tour that's coming here to start their season. We'll be right back. Stay with us.